Ancient Egypt birthed one of the most complex, mysterious, and deeply fascinating religions the human world has ever seen. It was a spiritual universe teeming with cosmic tales, omnipotent gods, and fantastic creatures that defy the imagination. For centuries, legendary deities like Osiris and Isis have stolen the spotlight, completely capturing the minds of history enthusiasts and mythology lovers worldwide. However, what most casual fans completely miss is that beneath these famous names lies a hidden, ancient pantheon of primordial gods. These lesser-known deities were the true backbone of early Egyptian belief. Some were passionately worshipped only during highly specific historical eras, while others endured for millennia, changing their names, appearances, and roles within the pantheon over time. But what would the grand civilization of Egypt even be without the existence of the majestic Nile River? The Nile was the literal lifeblood of the entire empire. Because of its massive importance throughout history, multiple powerful deities were crowned as its supreme guardians. Among them was the goddess Anuket. In the earliest days, Anuket was intimately associated with the rapid flow of the Nile's waters, specifically recognized as the ruler of the first cataract, where the river churned with untamed power. Her name translates to the embracer, symbolizing how the river gives life to the surrounding lands. Her cult was practiced primarily on Elephantine Island, located in the region of Upper Egypt. Beyond water, Anuket was revered as a fierce goddess of the hunt, earning the title Lady of the Gazelles, a sacred animal under her protection. As centuries rolled by, Anuket's identity shifted into a maternal figure, protecting women during childbirth and even being depicted nursing the pharaoh. During the New Kingdom, her worship included a massive festival celebrating the annual flooding of the Nile, a phase of universal renewal and spiritual rebirth. Another cavity's divinity woven into the waters of the Nile was the god Hapi. Hapi was a deity of an incredibly unique appearance. Ancient artists depicted him with striking blue or deep green skin, representing the rich, fertile mud of the river. He possessed a distinctly plump body with a prominent belly and heavy breasts, which were symbols representing the sheer abundance, nourishment, and wealth brought forth by the river. Hapi was intensely venerated across every region of Egypt, and his role in daily survival was so monumentally important that the common people often worshipped him even above Ra, the glorious sun god. He was frequently hailed as the father of the gods. Despite being a masculine deidad, he possessed the strange ability to nurse. According to myth, Hapi was personally responsible for feeding and sustaining the great god Osiris after he was brutally murdered by his brother Seth, directly aiding in his resurrection. Beyond fertilizing the soil for crops, the Nile provided an endless source of food. The ancient Egyptians believed that the countless fish swimming within the depths of the Nile were raised and guided by the mysterious goddess Hatmehit. Represented as a beautiful woman with the head of a fish or wearing a crown topped with a massive fish silhouette, her cult found its strongest popularity in Lower Egypt, where she was credited with multiplying the schools of fish vital for feeding the population. Among the ancestral primordial gods of Egypt, there was one who stood out due to his immense importance to the creation of human beings. This was Khnum, an ancient deity depicted with the head of a ram. His name literally translated to the molder. The historical origins of Khnum trace all the way back to the pre-dynastic period, long before the first pharaohs. Originally, he was feared as a river god, but because of his legendary skill as a master artisan, he was given the ultimate cosmic task of shaping living beings. The Egyptians believed that Khnum sat at a divine potter's wheel, carefully molding the physical body of every single newborn child out of the rich mud of the Nile. Khnum was also entirely responsible for creating a person's spirit known as the Ka, which he blessed with intelligence and creative talent. Furthermore, Khnum acted as a protector of the dead, invoked in the famous Book of the Dead to defend the deceased during the final judgment. This profound belief in life after death heavily influenced daily Egyptian existence, requiring complex funeral rituals to mark a soul's passing. To achieve this, the Egyptians sought the spiritual backing of the goddess Anput to guide them through the delicate funerary processes. Anput was the official goddess of mummification and the divine wife of Anubis, the feared lord of the dead. Anput was traditionally portrayed as a woman wearing a crown adorned with a jackal symbol, though in rarer representations, she appears with the actual head of a jackal, standing side by side with her husband. Another deity of paramount importance in the affairs of death was the ancient goddess Serket. Standing as one of the oldest recorded deities, she was visually represented as a hybrid possessing the body of a woman, but with a deadly scorpion perched upon her head. She held a strong connection to medical practices, specifically serving as the patron for doctors treating venomous stings and animal bites. While Egyptians offered prayers to Serket for protection against snakes and scorpions, she could also punish sinners by sending her poisonous creatures to strike them down. Serket was tasked with protecting the eternal soul of deceased pharaohs, guiding them to the underworld and breathing the breath of life into their new bodies, which is why her image frequently adorned noble mummification chambers and sarcophagi. Moving from the realm of the dead to human conflict, the goddess Anat represents a fascinating chapter. Anat was a highly important divinity worshipped primarily in Upper Egypt. Her cult gained immense strength during the Middle Kingdom, a time when Egypt was heavily influenced by the Hyksos, a people of Semitic origin. Though Anat originally belonged to the foreign Canaanite religion, she was warmly welcomed by the Egyptians, to the point that Pharaoh Ramesses the Great adopted her as his personal guardian in battle. Anat was depicted as a beautiful woman wearing a crown adorned with ostrich feathers, but beneath this graceful appearance lay a volatile entity focused on fertility, carnal desires, and unpredictable violence. She took pleasure in warfare, almost always armed with a spear and a bronze mace, yet she also worked to secure peace treaties after the fighting concluded. Warfare was a defining reality for Egypt, fighting against Libyans, Nubians, and Hittites. To ensure victory, the army turned to Anhur, an ancient god of war and patron of warriors. Sometimes shown as a strong man wielding a spear, his most famous representation was a man with a lion's head, symbolizing raw courage. Anhur was also tasked with protecting his father, the sun god Ra, standing on the solar barge to defend it from the terrifying chaos serpent Apophis, earning him the title Slayer of Enemies. Yet he wasn't purely violent. Anhur also stimulated human creativity, and during his festivals, mock battles were staged to glorify his heroic deeds. Just like humans, the gods of Egypt could rarely be classified as purely good or evil. Many possessed a highly unpredictable temperament. A perfect example was the goddess Taweret, the primary protector of pregnant women and newborns. Her name literally translated to the Great One, and she was depicted as a bizarre hybrid combining a pregnant hippopotamus, a Nile crocodile, and a ferocious lion, the three most feared animals in Egypt. Her worship originated during the Old Kingdom as a domestic deity. She had no grand stone temples, but her statues filled private homes, and pregnant women wore her amulets for protection. However, Taweret possessed a dark side. If her anger was provoked, she could instantly transform into a lethal, demonic force, bringing deadly illness and misfortune. Even with an army of gods supervising creation, life would be impossible without oxygen. This is where the primordial god Shu entered the stage. Shu was tasked with bringing light, air, and wind into our reality. illuminating the primordial darkness to create the permanent separation between day and night, and splitting the realms of the living and the dead. Representing the space between sky and earth, the ancient Egyptians believed the floating white clouds were actually the physical bones of Shu. Finally, one of the most powerful and mysterious figures was the god Ptah. Ptah was a primordial creator god who existed before time itself, miraculously creating himself out of nothingness and forging the universe through the sheer power of his thoughts. Depicted as a calm, mummified man holding a scepter of royalty and authority, he reigned as the supreme patron of masons, sculptors, and architects, granting them the inspiration required to build magnificent monuments. His legendary skills in craftsmanship led later cultures to compare him to the Greek god Hephaestus. Ptah was intensely worshipped across Egypt, but his center of power was in Memphis and Heliopolis, where he was viewed as the creator of all things. This theological concept likely gave birth to the abstract concept of a god viewed as the great architect of the universe, an idea that would later popularize itself across various modern religions. The sheer number and variety of the gods of Egypt are so vast that historians believe many ancient deities are still waiting to be discovered beneath the desert sands. What remains outside of any doubt is that Egyptian mythology continues to stand as an immortal pillar of human history, keeping the stories of these ancient gods alive forever.